the location. I don't want my cyber stalking me, but the chat is on. We got a lot to talk about. I just thought, oh, it's such a beautiful spring day for a change. We've had such a miserable, damp spring. I don't know what, I mean, what it portends. It's not great. The vibes are off this year. I'm getting strong 20s. I shouldn't say that. Does verbalizing even matter? I mean, we all feel it. We all feel it, right? The vibes are off. I wish they weren't. The vibes are great this year. I'm sure everything's going to go great, and we're really going to turn this around. It was the best times, it was the worst of times. I've been thinking about that. I don't think it's the best of times, really, for anybody. I mean, for maybe 3 people on the earth. Even Elon Musk has got to be fucking miserable, right? His life's got to be a living hell. The Cybertruck thing, I mean, he's just getting trashed. His fucking stock is tanking. Zuckerberg pulled some mixed martial arts on his ass. Now he's richer. Anyway, so I want to talk about WrestleMania. It's a little chilly. We'll see how long this lasts. I just wanted to get on. I don't even know why. I sensed my opportunity. I wanted to give something back to the fans. And I don't know. I wanted to talk about, so there's the eclipse tomorrow. It's open mic tomorrow, the eclipse night. We're going to do some kind of ritual, you know, I don't even know what it means. I mean, what the hell does the eclipse mean? The last eclipse, 2017, right? I was in a hammock in my backyard with my poet friend, with a little kind of crescent multiplied. You know, the shadows were actually like illuminations. It wasn't like this guy in the FedEx truck is looking at me. I gotta smoke more weed if I'm gonna be doing this on 5th Avenue. So we're on 5th Avenue right here, everybody. I'm blown out. I'm trying to get some more fucking exposure in the back, but there we go. Okay. I'm blown out here. Sorry about that. You're not really getting any of the, yeah, so that was my last eclipse. I don't know, you know, the last 7 years, I guess. Have they gone well? I'm not sure. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. I mean, what choice do we have? This is the only time, as far as, you know, it's now. So we have to cope with what we have. We have to deal with what's happening. And, yeah, that's right. Welcome to the 21st century. Just on a stroll, live streaming. Fast, we got started. New York, you gotta be on your toes at all times. You have to have cat-like reflexes. You have to be responsive in every direction. That's how you survive here. Yeah, so the last 7 years, my life has been, I think, a great story and movie. And, you know, I do what I believe in. I'm not like somebody that's trapped in some job being like, oh, I wish I was an artist in New York. Like, you know, I go hard. It can be messy. It can be awkward. You know, I do think there's truth to this. I've been watching all these Mark Fisher lectures, like, nonstop. You know, time moves faster now and culture has stopped. You know, I think one of the reasons why there aren't as new Beatles or whatever. Gene Simmons, who's the new Beatles? There's no time. There's no money. You know, this is what I was sort of alluding to in my live stream last time was circumstance. You know, Mark Fisher says punk could not exist in London today. It's too expensive. One of the things that made punk possible was squatting, right? Everybody was squatting, not paying rent. That culture just does not exist anymore. There's a lot of DIY culture. Vegan, Portland. It came from people that were trying to do shit without money. And who weren't afraid to break the law. And now, I mean, New York, I think that's one of the reasons why. You know, one of the reasons why they're making everything more expensive is because it's social control. It's probably the best form of social control. after what's happened the last few years, I think they've just seen the mass of people get unruly, start to fight back, talk about raising wages, talk about unionizing, this, that, whatever. And I think they're just like, we can't have this. And so the best way to stop people from organizing, stop people from communicating, raise the price of every goddamn thing. You know, that's why New York was so important. Because it was an IRL petri dish, cross-pollination, cross-fertilization, transaction in real life of anybody could come here from any class and bring their fucking genius, bring their ideas, and make it on the strength of those ideas. And now it's not like that. Now it's completely decentered because it's so expensive. So the only people that can come here are people whose parents are rich, who pay for everything, who subsidize their life here. And those people might have interesting ideas, I don't know. But they want there to be one place, right? I saw this video. We're going to get to WrestleMania. I saw this video about, I don't know if I should go in the park. It's just like there's too much going on. But I want to show it to everybody. So we're in Washington Square now. Yeah, I saw this guy, the guy who started WeWork. This guy has a proven track record of bombing, having no fucking, you know, WeWork was basically, they want to get rid of the third place because they want to charge you for it. That's what WeWork was about. They don't want you working at Starbucks. They don't want you working at a fucking cafe. They want to charge you to freelance sublease office space from them. And so now they're building all these fucking apartment, like lifestyle centers, like Hudson Yards and shit, Beekman Place, all those kind of new Ivanka Jared looking fucking places that are like these all-in-one. You know, you live there, there's concerts there, there's culture there, all your shopping is there. And so it's all one place. They don't want there to be, because since there's no second place, right? The second place is the office. Your first place is your house. Your second place is the office. You're supposed to have a third place, but now nobody goes to the office. So they want to just make it one place where you work from home, you shop there, online, right, obviously, and you pay them for everything. You know, you own nothing and you're totally free or whatever the fuck it is. And so they want there to be one place. New York is all about third places, second and third places. The diversity of the zoning and stuff. But there's just a homogeneity to everything now. Reality, fiction, art, life, everything's kind of even. We're all just kind of cosplaying in the fucking fake economy. Cosplaying, making a living. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit anyway. Your fake job. It's just a way of keeping you complacent, keeping you part of the system, keeping you obedient. Anyway, WrestleMania. Night one. I watched it on TikTok for free. I don't know if I should say that, but on the live, there was one guy who just put his phone up and was filming his TV. So I watched that, and then there was another guy who had it was like a video game live stream, except he was showing WrestleMania. And I was gonna go try to watch it in person. The Comedy Shop was showing Royal Rumble for free, so I thought, or Pine Box Rock Shop, I think, showed the Royal Rumble for free. So I thought, you know, comedians are the ones they're like keyed into wrestling. You know, wrestling is kind of part of the adolescent male Arrested Development culture spectrum, and it's making a comeback. Okay, that's one reason why maybe that's just because it's an election year. Last time I was into wrestling was 2016. It felt like the only way to fight fascism. You gotta fight fascism with fascism. Just kidding. Pretend, it's all fake. We're not gonna, it's all kayfabe. Where should I go now? Fuck. Maybe I'll go down McDougal. Yeah, so uh, since Vince McMahon, has been removed from public life and disgrace, as, anyone would have predicted, WWE is starting to get good again, is what kind of the narrative, the buzz. There's a little bit of buzz about it. And to be honest, it makes sense that it would be able to evolve into the current. There's a lot of things that I think he was holding it back as far as like just the presentation. Some of the things that they've started doing with the show itself and just the nature. I mean, you can tell they're moving it into an era of long form narrative television. We're in sort of a post Game of Thrones, post whatever binge watching. And so it makes sense that wrestling would dabble in that area or try to keep up or something. And it's a soap opera, right? There's continuity. And so now they're going back kind of to these decades long hidden, the Rhodes family dynasty, and fucking The Rock has this whole family history, the Usos, the Samoans, what is it, the tribal chief, all this shit. Here we go. That shit goes back decades. And so the storytelling can potentially run deep. People love that shit. The internet has exposed that people love Easter eggs, they love lore, they love kind of, throwbacks. Oh, okay, Wonderland. Munchie's still closed, unfortunately. There's the Comedy Cellar, Comedy Nerds. They stole it from poetry. Comedy stole poetry in this country. This country was a fucking utopia, then poets would be the philosophers, to quote Rogan or whatever. So anyway, there's some of the things they've done with fucking like steady cams, fucking they have longer kind of tracking shots and shit now. They'll track the guys from backstage. Does anybody, through the fucking gorilla position, through the fucking ramp, out to the ring, gimbals and steady cams. Think about the revolution there's been in fucking camera technology just in the past 10, 15 years. Drones and shit. They weren't using a lot of that stuff in wrestling, it didn't seem like. And so it makes sense now that, I always hated fucking Triple H, but now he's in charge of everything. Him and Shawn Michaels. They're kind of running shit, the dirtbags from DX. But, okay, I do think it was a pretty good show. But there are just ways that wrestling has changed since I haven't watched it in 20 fucking years. I haven't watched it since the Attitude Era. I'm not into Cena. I think he sucks. I'm not into John Cena. Never was. Never liked him. And I'm not into Roman Reigns either. Roman Reigns is like a step down from that. The last time I watched wrestling, it was like real fucking weird. It was Dean Ambrose and all these fucking people that were sort of like mid-card were like headlining everything. And it seems more like a stunt show now, to be honest. Like, I do think there's truth to the fucking Cornette thing about they're acrobats. They're just like tumblers. A lot of the moves just look like they're tumbling or something. And it's like, I liked that stuff when I was a kid. They all have the same body. They're all kind of lean, muscular. They all kind of want to be Shawn Michaels, it seems like. Meets like,
And she knows it.
I don't know, maybe a little Jeff Hardy or something thrown in there. But they all kind of have these, you can tell in the wake of all the scandals and all these guys bulking up and WWE going public and shit, they had to kind of scrub their image, make it PG or even G, as Triple H says. So for a long time, there was no blood, there was no cursing. Now that McMahon is gone, they're starting to push the envelope again. So a lot of people are, you know, claiming that this is like a new era. It's the Renaissance era of walking around Greenwich Village talking about wrestling. God, I wish that background was not so blown out. I don't think the show like exploded. I mean, granted, it was like the first night of 2 nights. That's another thing that's weird, is like now WrestleMania is fucking 2 nights. That's kind of like oh shit, here's that's pretty cool, old motorcycle thing. You know, so obviously they're spreading it a little thinner, and you can tell with this they really are trying to like block it out beat by beat, almost like it's a fucking show. I mean, that's what I heard Hogan say when he was supposed to fight The Rock at WrestleMania 17 or whatever. He said The Rock flew him down to Miami, and he had this whole fucking like binder and shit with like a script with like every single thing they were gonna do, and The Rock or Hogan was just like, what is this, you know, like, we'll just call it in the ring, brother. See, that's old school. I don't think they would do that anymore. That's how the show felt last night. It felt like it had all been like storyboarded almost. It felt like they probably had like some kind of script Bible, and like every beat for every little fucking storyline, and you can tell they are trying to set shit up for like night 2, because night 2 is really the big event tonight. But I gotta say, and granted, I have not been watching wrestling, like I said, for the last fucking 20 years, and I don't care that much. But like, I like Cody Rhodes. He's all right. I don't think he is. I think they did make a mistake listening to the fans online. In the match, like I said, I haven't watched it in 20 years, so I really don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Has The Rock fought Roman Reigns before? Have they had that fucking like showdown? Because like, the thing about WrestleMania is like, it's become a tradition now that you know, every 10 years or so, there's like a match that's sort of like a generational passing of the torch. When Hogan fought The Rock, obviously, was like, you know, it's like if you have, or even like, it's WrestleMania, you know, it's supposed to be the top 2 fucking guys. It's supposed to be Austin versus The Rock, you know, it's like, you don't want to muddle it up with a bunch of other shit. And so, like, to be honest, it's like they had Austin versus The Rock, they had Austin versus Cena. It seems like they need to have an Austin, or The Rock versus Hogan, The Rock versus Cena. It seems like they need to have a Rock versus Roman Reigns match. Since Roman Reigns is the greatest of all time, apparently, they're really trying to sell this guy. Fucking, I can't believe when Paul Heyman says that Roman Reigns is the greatest of all time. There's no way he believes that. What about Sabu? What about Rob Van Dam? And so it felt like there should have been, and especially to people who don't know about wrestling, you know, that's the thing about wrestling. It's like every 10, 15 years, it starts to get good again. And so they've got an audience that they need to hook. They want to bring people in. And, you know, we don't know who the fuck Cody Rhodes is, really. And he's smaller than those other guys. I mean, I don't know who Seth freaking Rollins is, but he was pretty good, I guess. Apparently he's the Shawn Michaels of the current day. He's Mr. WrestleMania. He always puts on the best match or something. So that, I'm sure that's why they put him in this match. But, yeah, I'm just walking around talking about WrestleMania here for my extremely niche audience of people who both like Greenwich Village porn and professional wrestling. But, yeah, that's a better exposure right there. So all the fans on the fucking internet bitched because The Rock came back and he was obviously setting shit up to be The Rock versus Roman Reigns. And all the fans are like, well, Cody needs to finish his story and all this shit. The losers who have been devoted to wrestling in the interim where it's been boring. You know, because there are people. The thing about wrestling is it's like poetry or something. It's just like it always exists. It's like it's just this kind of bastard form of entertainment where it's like it's low cost to produce, and it just kind of. I mean, it's probably the oldest fucking. I mean, watching people fight. You know, what's older than that? That's like, look at fucking, you know, rams or elks in fucking nature. That's basically pro wrestling. You know, them butting heads or whatever. And so, like, there will always be fucking wrestling. Even after nuclear annihilation, there will be some kind of wrestling. I guarantee it. Those guys will survive because they are just like, you know, it's masculinity kind of at its just most the essence. Running your fucking mouth and showing off, peacocking, dressing up. Yeah, so anyway, I thought the arena, I don't know if it was the sound capture or what, but it did not feel like the audience was that into it. It felt like, well, it felt like at the beginning of the match they were trying to they were trying to have a moment like the Hogan Rock match where they had this kind of stare down, you know, in that 2-shot in the center of the ring, and the audience is just going fucking wild for it. It felt like they were trying to do that, but it did not come across on the TV that there was that same electricity in the air. It felt like the crowd was dead, you know, and we all know what that's like. And so it just felt like the beginning of the match kind of dragged. It was okay. You could tell The Rock, I mean, I do think there's some truth to this idea that, like, you can't just step back into this. You know, these guys that fucking do this all the time, they are just like, there's just so much his hip flexors probably are not, what they once were. Let me smoke real fast. I gotta find a place to sit and smoke. Yeah, so even if you're not like a fan of wrestling, just put it on mute. You can enjoy the local color here. Okay, so yeah, it was you know, I think they're trying to layer stuff in to set stuff up for tomorrow night, the way that Roman Reigns speared The Rock on accident. You know, that's probably setting something up for tonight where they'll turn on each other. They probably have the Roman Reigns fight The Rock at SummerSlam or something like that. Who the fuck knows? I mean, now that Vince McMahon is gone and it's been acquired by, like, Hollywood, you know, I think Hollywood is trying to just, like, grab onto any kind of intellectual property that has a proven track record. And wrestling, you know, in the sort of idiocracy, in the intellectual disintegration of this country, wrestling has become more and more just like, I mean, I don't think there is a more American theater, actually. Like, that is the American, you know, Greek drama or whatever. The fact that, and well, that's the other thing I will say about what's different now, is it seems like the wrestlers are, like, acting all of the matches. You can tell that they're, like, encouraged to say things to each other now, and they kind of get caught on camera, like on the camera mic. You know, like, the wrestlers aren't mic'd, but you kind of hear them. Maybe they've always done that. I'm sure they have, but it does seem like with Vince McMahon, the acting was always, like, very kind of cartoonish, huge. That's his sense of humor. You know, he's kind of got a jock sense of humor, where it's like about just kind of being silly, you know, dressing up in silly clothes. You know, Hogan, the way Hogan acted. Whereas now it seems like they're trying to get performances out of these guys that are a little bit more naturalistic. and more real. You can feel like they're trying to build heat that way. So it's like you can feel, I don't know, an influence of like, I don't know, kind of Hollywood stunt. It reminded me of almost like one of those fucking like live action Waterworld stunt shows or whatever, like at a theme park. There were elements of WrestleMania when the guy did the for these younger guys, it's like normal for them to take these insane bumps and jump off fucking ladders and do a Death Valley driver off a fucking ladder. That guy Ricochet, that guy just goes through all kind of insane fucking. So I don't know, it feels almost like they're stuntmen. In a way that I did, if you watch the old wrestling and the territories and shit, the stuff that drew money, these guys were just like big piles of shit. They'd weigh 300 pounds. They weren't like chiseled, like all these guys now have pecs and like these nice bodies. And it's like, if you watch the old wrestling, it was more just kind of about mass and watching two guys kind of, slam together. It's all about, and there was more wrestling. There's more like hammer locks, arm drag, headlock, technical wrestling, mat technician type shit. And that's one of the things that's amazing about wrestling is like the fluidity of that stuff and all the different languages there are. But I don't know, when I see these guys that are like 225 pounds, 6'2" or whatever, jumping through the air and being acrobats and shit. I don't know. There's something, the impact, has been lost a little bit. I'm sure that's like a football thing, too. It's like a CTE thing. They don't want these guys to like. But when I first started tuning in, it was during the ladder match, the six-pack ladder match, and that was pretty good. R-Truth, I like him. He's somebody that's kind of jumped out. Like I said, even though I don't really watch that much, I've been sort of paying attention like a lot of people. The Rock is back. He's, he was somebody that when I was in middle school, high school, The Rock was like as good as anybody on the mic, really on TV. He was as good as any stand-up comedian, really, as far as like providing laughs, catchphrases. Wrestling has catchphrases just like Saturday Night Live. And maybe it is just like Arrested Development infantilization. I think one reason why I've been so into wrestling recently is that it's like a helplessness, reaction. You want, this is why I think little kids watch it. The first time I was ever, wrestling was like the first thing I ever liked, practically. Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, and Star Wars and shit like that. Wrestling is like a real-life superhero, I guess, type thing. And it's all about being able to solve problems by violence, or just, I don't know, the idea that somebody, Hulk Hogan, somebody is going to save you or protect you, when you're scared. And we're in a time of just like, I don't know, it feels like the calm before the storm, sort of. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 4 years? You know, the last 4 years have been pretty good in their kind of wrecked, damaged way. You know, even though the world is kind of like half, you know, it's like some kind of funky fucking bike or something that's like got some fucked up tire, but it's moving. Maybe this is just like a pocket of time. I don't know. I feel kind of bad that I called my book War Commercial, because I do not want to encourage that. I feel like I'm just like a sensitive, I'm like a tuning fork to whatever's happening, you know? And so that's just like a reflection of what I feel. It's meant to be not ironic, but it's meant to call attention to the fact that that's what they're doing. I'm not saying that it's extremely ironic, I suppose. It's almost like beyond ironic, beyond sarcastic. Because it's like, I want the opposite of that. I want the opposite of a new Dark Ages. You know, an era where ignorance has all this power. But, I don't know. Like I said, it kind of feels like 2016, maybe. Biden could get reelected. It's very possible. I mean, you know, I know this is insane, but like, it really is. The Democrats are not great. We're obviously fucked either way. But like, Trump thinks he's Jesus. And he is actively, you know, going to take over the government. Plus, it's like, do we really want this guy to get another Supreme Court justice? Like, we're already fucked. You know, the Supreme Court has already put the kill shot in democracy. But, so that, you know, that's another thing that just makes it feel like it's got to collapse. You know, there's just, maybe that's just like a self-fulfilling prophecy on the internet. Everybody's like, oh my God, you know, that everything's going to collapse and that'll make it happen. But things like crypto, not that I'm pro crypto, but it's like I saw a video of the guy saying, you know, you can't take $100,000 cash onto a plane. You cannot wire $100,000 cash between two bank accounts. Whereas like crypto, you know, the governments are going to intervene. They're going to wonder what you're doing. Crypto, it's like there's none of that. Whether we want it or not, these tech people seem like they want to supersede the governments. I don't think that I think they want to collapse the governments, actually. You know, it'll just give them more power. Then we can all live in the one place. Techno-feudalism. So there is just like this frenzy that feels like it makes it, at least for me, I mean, maybe I've just tried to adopt, like I said, I'm sort of trying to be a mirror, as it were, up to nature. But it's hard to, why are we not the Beatles? Why are we not Marlon Brando? I saw an article the other day. Who's the next Marlon Brando? There isn't one. No shit. I mean, god damn. It does feel depressing, soul-destroying to just not be able to develop as a human being because of old people not letting go of their jobs and hogging all the resources. So, I mean, something has to be done. We're light warriors, okay? We chose to be here at this time, supposedly, to watch WrestleMania. I don't know. Wrestling is a way to get through to people, maybe. I don't know. Why do I watch fucking wrestling? It's entertaining. There's beauty to it. It's like a dance. It's an improvisation. It's one of the few places in our culture where there is, like, active improvisation. Or at least there was. Maybe now everything is going to be super scripted by Endeavor Agency and a bunch of Hollywood screenwriters. And comedy writers. Jim Cornette hates the comedy writers. They don't know anything about the business. See, I like the territories, okay? I didn't want to be Vince McMahon. I didn't want to be a monopoly of wrestling. I think it is going to be interesting to have a national wrestling company that isn't just dominated by the vision of one person, like it was under Vince McMahon. Because Vince McMahon did have a fucking sick sense of humor. And he was definitely part of that toxic chokehold on the media that these people had. He definitely did humiliation rituals. He probably killed Owen Hart. He unalived him, I'll say it. He probably unalived a lot of people. Like Puff Daddy, okay? I do believe Puff Daddy killed Biggie. Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. His whole career, nobody knew who the fuck Puff Daddy was. He was just some annoying asshole who put his mouth on the fucking track. And then all of a sudden he's on the MTV Video Music Awards with Sting, winning all the fucking awards and shit for his, like, tribute to his friend who died. He killed him. He fucking killed Biggie. I think that's why the feds are going after him. He's, you know, that's gangster, man. That's how it fucking works for some of these people. We hope to move out of that. You know, they're just unaliving whistleblowers and shit. We're hoping to move into a new era of light. We thought the internet was going to be an illuminating Gutenberg Bible times 100. And all people want to do is watch dumbass video game streamers. They don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to listen to my poetry stream about wrestling. One poet's thoughts on WrestleMania. The dude kind of botched the brain buster on the turnbuckle. I saw somebody else do that move on TikTok. TikTok predicted WrestleMania in like the PSYOP. I think that we can mentally travel in our. That's what poetry is. Poetry is completely like going to another place in your mind. Time traveling, what's the word? Not teleporting. Mental projection. You absolutely do that in writing. That's what writing is. When is Ashley going to show up? Countdown to when Ashley shows up. So everybody should experiment with poetry and sincerity and vulnerability. Thank you for watching, Starlight Sunshine. And thank you for the beautiful emoji. I've turned on the chat. Yeah, I'm talking about WrestleMania and the eclipse. I don't really know what the meaning of the eclipse is. Apparently my mom is going to be in the path of totality. We're kind of off-center in the eclipse. But I'll be vlogging it. Maybe I'll do it live from the eclipse. There is a comedy open mic tonight at 6. I might go to it. It's such a nice day. I kind of want to be outside, but I don't have any material, really. Just going to go wing it. Just going to go riff. You know, I know people love it. People love riffing. It's their favorite. That's maybe what my live stream is. It's yapping, riffing. So, yeah, the brain buster on the turnbuckle. I don't know if anybody saw it. He kind of botched it. I don't know. I saw somebody do that move. I forget, some match. Was it AEW? Or was it some Japanese thing? Some Japanese match? You know, they import a lot of that. It is crazy, some of the moves these guys have invented recently. But, you know, where's the fucking Undertaker, man? Where's the new Undertaker? Just like everything. Everything is just spinning apart. You know, and we're kind of frantically kind of grabbing at the pieces, trying to make sense of it. And, you know, even I can never ice it like I want to ice it. I wish I had 2 million people watching me like Tim Dillon. Do people watch Tim Dillon? I hate to say it, but Tim Dillon kind of knows that corporate world. I listen to Tim Dillon. I don't like it. I'm not proud of it. He's one of the more interesting perspectives that I've found, you know, on long-form podcasting, whatever. He has a way of these riffs that he does, like the corporate steakhouse. I mean, I don't know. Is this... But, you know, he riffs, he just talks for an hour a week, and he's kind of got the beat on a certain political... He's like a Long Island real estate scam artist. So, of course, he knows how these... It's the Jordan Belson effect. We worship scumbags. You know, you get rich, it counts. You just got to get rich. That's all. Why complain about it? Just get rich. You know, don't be a whiny fucking... Just win, okay?
Yeah, war mode. Okay. Yeah, so I'm anti-war, okay? Ceasefire, god damn it. We want a ceasefire everywhere. The United States, I don't know. We have military bases everywhere. People seem to not like that all of a sudden. That's imperialism. It's gun manufacturing. It's big bucks. It's the military-industrial complex. And it's just how we maintain the motherfucking Vince McMahon monopoly while we're shitting on everybody's faces. And robbing them and exploiting them. The war in our minds. You're exactly right, Adam S. Thank you. Are you at the Marriott in the West Coast right now? Did you get fired? Did we fire you yet? Vince McMahon is Dirty Sanchez. Do people know this? He is Dirty Sanchez. He should have been put in jail in the 90s. I mean, Congress fucked up back then. They should have put Vince McMahon away. Work starts at 3. All right, you're going in the Marriott. Working class hero, Adam S. I hope you are fucking incompetent and doing everything you can to drag your feet and cost them money. Yeah, get drunk before you go into your job. That's how it should be. I always try to smoke weed before I have to work. You know, it's how we get creative. Man, it's how we fight back. You know, because fuck these people. I don't want to work for anybody. I shouldn't even have to work. You know, none of us should have to work. We should be handsomely compensated for our... Adam S. is so handsome. He shows up to drunk. They probably love it that you're drunk. You're probably super charming and fucking... You're probably alpha boss. You're boss baby. What's happened to our culture? Boss baby's the best thing that's happened in the last 20 years. All these Lego movies. What the fuck is wrong with these... the Minions... you know, I don't know. It's all CGI. I would hate to be a child who had grew up in the CGI era. I mean, Jesus Christ. Oh, you're like Nicolas Cage. So you're going to drink yourself to death? Jesus Christ. That's pretty intense. I mean, San Francisco is a good place to do it. Or do you live in the Tenderloin? I'd like to move to the Tenderloin, I think. It's my destiny to live in a single-room occupancy hotel on the Mission. Does that still exist, or is it all tech? Apparently, AI has rejuvenated San Francisco, unfortunately. All my poetry that I read at the marathon where I was... Oh, you're in Seattle? Oh, fuck, okay, Seattle. That's even better. So you're in Bezosville. You live in Jeff Bezos' company town. Fraserville. Have you heard about Fraser Core aesthetic? Apparently it was the last real aesthetic that happened before the great banality after 9/11. The great homogenization of the internet. The great CGI-ification. Bill Gates, you're right. You're absolutely right. Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, fucking Eddie Vedder, Soundgarden. Fuck yeah. Seattle, the Sonics. I love the Sonics. One of my favorite bands of all time. What's the poetry like in Seattle? Isn't Wave Books in Seattle? I think Wave Books has a store there or something. Dave Matthews lives in fucking Seattle? Holy shit. That's the most Fraser Core thing I've ever heard. That's super Fraser pill. He's drinking wine. Does he have a winery? I thought he was like a winery guy. I thought he had a wine. I'm a TikTok comment section guy now. What I live for is I'm getting all this validation through TikTok comments. I'll get all these notifications. Oh, I got 20 likes on my TikTok comment about how Jim Cornette shaped a generation of wrestling in Ohio Valley because he trained John Cena and Brock Lesnar and Batista. I've gotten so many likes on my comment about how Hulk Hogan's an egomaniac. That doesn't work for me, brother. Wave has a headquarters. See, you know your poetry shit. Have you been there? Tell me about Wave headquarters. Is that Matthew Rohr or Matthew Zapruder or Matthew... I'm not one of the Matthews, okay? I want to go on the record. I'm not one of the Matthews. I'm a Matt. I'm a Frankly Fabulous. I'm a WWE. I'm a Brooklyn Backyard Wrestling superstar. I'm a BBW superstar, CCW, awful. I've worked with a lot of organizations. I'm flexible. I'm like Ric Flair. I can work a lot of places. You know, I can I'm a team player. I don't get why these guys care so much about jobbing. Like, you can get as much out of losing as you can out. Matt Rohr lives in Seattle. Okay, I like Matt Rohr. I like the others. I've got a few of his books. The Green Light or something is one of his books. The Green something. I've read a few of his books. He lived in Park Slope. All these fucking assholes live in Park Slope. Like I did. Now I'm a bum. Look at me. Fucking trolling the streets of Manhattan. I've got a tooth infection, and I had an appointment yesterday, but they didn't take my insurance. They said I had to pay out of pocket. So if anything happens to me, I'm gonna sue. I will sue the fuck out of them. I'm gonna get some money out of this somehow. God damn it. So I'm a little, I don't know. I could have been a kid. That's right, Adam S. You've heard me, bitch. Half of my live stream, I tried to go back and watch the old ones. All me just negative. I need to be positive. I have a great life. I'm living the dream. I'm free as fuck, okay? I don't have a job, okay? I'm free as fuck. Here, I shouldn't be running my mouth because it's all about freedom, people. It's all about time. Time is money you will never get back. And I want my time. Fuck the money, fuck the fame, fuck the status. I'd rather sit at this fucking chessboard. S.A. Beaver, clove oil. I do have clove oil. Do you think that's gonna work? I was using it. That'll get rid of an infection. I was using it. I was shoplifting it from Whole Foods. It's class warfare, people. I hope you're shoplifting from Whole Foods. It's easy. They practically beg you to do it with the self-checkouts, which are apparently going to be class. There's going to be a caste system in our country of self-checkouts. Only the rich, well-off, silver spoon people are going to be able to operate a self-checkout. The rest of us, there will be human slaves, minimum wage slaves. Look, everybody should be liberated from manual labor, okay? Everybody. Every fucking buddy. That is progress. What is happening with the AI is sinister. There is a fascist, people that want to control everything in this tech quadrant. They want to migrate us into the metaverse. So we're living completely on our phones. So we're ordering food, god damn it, nonstop. I feel so bad for these restaurants. It got rid of my pain. Thank you, S.A. Beaver. Thank you for that. Thank you for that tip. All right, I will check it out. I had this stuff. Gum Guardian. Have you guys used Gum Guardian? Herbal mouthwash. Spilanthes, whole flowering plant, thyme flowering aerial parts, cranberry fruit, cinnamon bark, myrrh olea gum resin, clove flower bud, peppermint essential oil, certified organic cane alcohol, distilled water, and certified organic vegetable and glycerin. What is glycosine or whatever the fuck that is? I'm seeing all these TikTok videos about glycosine or whatever. Chinese glycosine. That's like a meme that means nothing, I guess, probably. But, yeah, so I'm a TikTok comment section guy now. I'm commenting on all these Huggy. Shout out to Huggy. Huggy has got every SNL skit that's ever happened. It's unbelievable. And so it's just like, there's so much SNL stuff that I realize I've never seen. And stuff, there's certain eras, like with wrestling, that I've never seen. I've never seen fucking... So TikTok is just spewing out my middle school back at me. All I'm seeing is wrestling and SNL. Will Forte, Andy Samberg, Maya Rudolph, Rachel Dratch, even Jimmy Fallon. They're all good. What can I say? They're all good. They're all good. Fred Armisen. I'm not a huge Seth Meyers guy. But there's certain... Bill Hader, of course, is unbelievable. He's very fucking committed. He's super committed to everything. one of the things that impresses me most about watching these Saturday Night Live clips is, we know Bill Murray mostly from like these kind of broad comedy movies, Ghostbusters or fucking, even in Rushmore and stuff. He's kind of got shtick. He kind of does shtick. I mean, let's face it. Bill Murray does a lot of shtick. Kingpin. I mean, he's a master. He's the funniest guy. But if you watch these old SNL clips of him in the 70s, it's shocking to me how committed to these characters he is. A lot of the stuff you see from that era on his tape is like the broad stuff where he does these kind of big characters, but it's like he's very committed to these scenes. And he stays in character. And he's not afraid to kind of be playing under somebody else at all. You wouldn't necessarily guess that from his movies and stuff, where he's kind of typically the lead, or he kind of does stuff, like I said, that's kind of shtick. But it's like he's actually a very good actor. I think that's one reason why that show took off, and that initial cast is still kind of romanticized by people. Because if you watch Dan Aykroyd or John Belushi or even fucking Chevy Chase, it's like they were really committed to what they were doing. They were committed to the scenes, and they were good sketch players, right? They weren't just like, I'm on Saturday Night Live, they weren't cracking up in the scenes and shit. It's like, it's become reading cue cards over the last 20 years, It's just not really... It is what it is, it's a cultural... it's like the High School Musical. Used Up Nature brand, pure clove leaf oil. You have to dilute it. I soaked a tissue with it and put it on the bad area. Wasn't going to the dentist during... Yeah, exactly, yeah. I wasn't going to go to the dentist during COVID. I wasn't going to have somebody hand in my mouth during COVID. Well, I don't know, man. It's like... the thing is, I don't really trust doctors, especially in this country. Everything's deteriorated. I was talking to my mom on the phone the other day. She works for the Attorney General in the state of Ohio for the environmental protection. So she's working on this East Palestine case where the train derailed. She was saying these companies want to get it to a point where everything is run by computers, to the point that they only have one human being on the entire train, because they don't want to pay people. They want to cut these jobs. They want it to be self-driving, AI, whatever the fuck. That's kind of scary. That's why the fucking train derailed, right? These businesses are cutting corners. They're using dirty fuel. That's why they said that boat crashed into the fucking ship, because it was running on this dirty fuel. Shale play. This fucking earthquake, what is that about? The earth is waking up. Mother Nature is waking up. It's probably because of all the fracking. The horizontal drilling. My mom was talking about, it's horizontal drilling. They drill in the ground and then drill a pipe horizontally. So it's ethical. It's not as bad for the environment. It's not like mountaintop removal. They're making shitloads of money. The United States is manufacturing more oil and energy, I guess, than it ever has, ever. It's because, she was saying they deregulated the state parks. Now they're going to start drilling in the state parks. So look for fracking to come to Alum Creek very soon. So my mom is a freedom fighter, fighting on the side of goodness, trying to save the environment. But, it's out of control. The gyre is widening, people. The center cannot hold. That's why New York sucks now, because there's no center. The center's everywhere. It's all huge people with beards and tattoos at craft breweries playing heavy metal music. What the fuck does Gen Z even do? I mean, is it noise music? People bitch about how there's no new music. What about System Lord? Have you fucking heard System Lord? System Lord does not sound like fucking any old people music. Neither did Wavetable, for that matter. It's just nobody champions that shit. We don't have a Rolling Stone magazine. We don't have these major centralized institutions that can take people and just publicize the fuck out. It's all PR, people. It's all about public relations, publicity, PR, and you got to pay to play now. It's all about buying likes, buying views. Thank you guys for watching. I'm live streaming to freedom lovers out there. And they want to cut corners. My mom was saying they used to have 20 paralegals to do a job now that they do with AI, looking through files. They just do it electronically now. They have the AI search. This is something that 20 paralegals used to do. It says now they have one paralegal to oversee the fucking AI. That's 20 to 1 jobs vanishing like that. That's kind of fucking crazy. You know, like, there needs to be universal basic income immediately. The reason why there's so much inflation is not because they gave us a universal basic income. It's because they gave rich people like $5 million. You know, how much money did they give Puff Daddy, I wonder? How much PPP did fucking Puff Daddy get? Or R. Kelly? You know, they all have these huge organizations. We need a universal basic income right fucking now. Just make it go back to the way it was in 21. 21 was the best year. I hope that Biden gets reelected. I know that's not cool to say. I think they're listening a little bit about the Israel thing. You know, they're responsive. You know, if they criticize Biden, he listens, sort of. I don't think he's totally, completely, you know, Trump is he feeds on the hatred. If you hate him, he's the final boss. Why is The Rock leaning so hard on the final boss thing? Can you tell me that? It's cool, I guess, but Jesus Christ. He's trying to heal it up real bad. I remember when The Rock turned heel with the corporation against Mankind. I did not like that heel turn. I thought The Rock was funnier when they just let him kind of be hilarious. When he tries to be a bad guy, it's like, He's not, The Rock is not a bad actor, but that's not why he's a movie star. He's not a movie star because he's a good actor. He's a movie star because he's charismatic as fuck. And he can reach a global audience. He's an action fucking hero. But Batista is a good actor. That's why he's in Dune and shit. You know, if you need a huge muscle head, you're not going to get The Rock, who can act. You know, if you need somebody who might get an Oscar nod. Has Batista got an Oscar nod? Who's going to be the first wrestler to win an Oscar? I wonder. I think I would cast Hogan, man. I think Hogan has got a good performance in him. You just have to use him the right way. I think I could get a good performance out of Hogan and Flair. I think those guys deserve. This interesting thing popped up on my TikTok. This is what TikTok is good for. It was Ric Flair in the Command and Conquer video game from like the 90s. I don't know if people ever played Command and Conquer, but certain nerds that I knew were like obsessed with it. It was like one of those take over your life type games. And Flair is like playing like a military guy. And he's not like acting. I don't want Caligula. Yeah, there you go. I grew up with a Mexican dude named Oscar. He got into heroin. Ooh, that's cool. Well, apparently everybody's doing, oh, he had an Oscar nod. Oh, there you go. Ba-dum-bum. The Oscar nod. Well, I'm sure there's some wrestlers who've gotten in some Oscar nods and some heroin shit. They're all on pain pills. Perk Angle. That's what makes them great. That's how they touch God. You know, you got to do pills. If you really want to... If there's anything that the New York School has taught us, and the Beatles and everybody, Elvis, they all took fucking amphetamines. Everybody in the 50s was like on amphetamines. You want to ask why the music was so good? Because it was like the drugs were just embraced. They had a public safety net. You know, rent was like $30 a month. That's why there's fucking Simon and Garfunkel. Yeah, Elvis was like a triple black belt. He could whoop your ass. I'll bet he'd be into wrestling. Memphis, Jerry Lawler, come on. Yeah, so listen to System Lord. I mean, I think noise music is the new fucking music. I'm alone in this, apparently, but to me, I love abstract expressionism. Yeah, the poetry's all on speed. Ted Berrigan is like, I was reading his diaries from the late 70s talking about pills. Got pills today. You know, we went out and bought pills. It's like, Jesus Christ. Fucking really, Jesus, you're doing all these goddamn pills. It's crazy. I no pills, no powders. That's my policy. No pills, no powders. Just natural, all natural. Microdosing. I'd like to do more psychedelics. All right, let's walk, shall we? We'll go on a little tour. Okay, what else, what do you guys want to talk about? So yeah, but there is no choice in the election, right? I do think RFK is like a fucking plant. I think they're trying to Ross Perot Joe Biden. The new Beetlejuice movie. You know, whatever. Good for Beetlejuice. It's kind of a few years too late. You know, like I felt like it was more in vogue to like revisit old franchises and shit a few years ago. Like Beetlejuice does not seem like a fictional universe to me. Like some of the other stuff that they're really trying to build out, you know, into like these huge intellectual properties that they can stream and create communities online. I think they're dead in the water. You know, because you can't, what's Disney going to, what are they going to stream? They're going to have Disney streamers? You know, they're going to have people who are like live streamers who work for Disney? Like what, how are they going to move into that? How are they going to move into video game fucking streaming or whatever? Pre-rolls, 3 for $20. See, New York is a beautiful place, everybody. It's the best. It is the greatest. Oh, should I go to this comedy open mic? What time is it? Is it 6 o'clock? Ugh. I'm kind of liking being outside, I guess. Time to dress up like a ventriloquist dummy for my $22. That's, yeah, there you go. 22 an hour, okay. I mean, that's not really a living wage in Seattle, is it? How do you afford your life? You know, unless you're grandfathered into something before the pandemic. If you didn't buy a house before the pandemic, you're fucked. There's just, it's a completely different plateau of expense now. But our money will be worthless in a few years, so what difference does it make? Adam S. has a studio for $1K, bada boom. That's pretty good. That doesn't really exist in New York. You'd have to have like a micro apartment. Questionable part of town. Are you on the cusp? I mean, that's where it is. I mean, to be honest, it's always been that way. You know, when New York was cheap, it was not safe. So it's like there was a trade-off in that. You know, it's like, could you have actually hacked it here when it was like fucking dangerous and people were getting robbed and shit? Even though it was $100 a month for an apartment. Maybe it was just so goddamn scary that you'd be like, fucking not worth it. Forget it. You know, would I have been able to do that? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, there was an earthquake the other day. I slept through it. I completely slept through it. I didn't feel anything. Maybe that's a testament to the bed that I'm sleeping in. But when I woke up, there's like a picture that's hanging Needle Park. There you go. Call you sir. There you go. That's respect. See, that's what a uniform gets you in this culture. A job. That's what a job gets you in this culture. If you're just like me, they don't call me sir. There you go. Adam S. Keep dressing that way. Great idea. Maybe I'll, yeah, when I wear the suit, you know. In New York, I don't know. I guess I still look like shit. Everybody kind of dresses up here. That's one of the best. Hello, Tiffany. Thank you for watching. You know, that's one of the best things about New York is that fucking people dress up. I never, you know, everybody, it's cool. It's like cool to wear fucking nice clothes. Thank you for watching, Tiffany. Thank you for tuning in. We're just walking around New York right now talking about, there was an earthquake the other day. People are pretty chill about it. You know, we're not really scared. What do you do, Tiffany? This guy's about to go to work. He works in a hotel in Seattle. He's trying to get fired from his job, though. So if you have any ideas about how to get him fired, we're trying to help him out. Trying to liberate him from social worker. Hell yeah. That's a great, you're great. You know, I mean, a lot of poets are social workers in New York. It's like a way that you can help. God bless you. My husband thought it was wind. I said, no, I think it was an earthquake. Poseidon. Oh, really? Poseidon. Oh, yeah, it's like Pluto. Is that Pluto or that's Neptune? Pluto entered Aquarius. So I'm just trying to gauge what the vibe is going to be. Stephen Jesse Bernstein. Who is that? I have no idea who that is. Is that Fraser's real name? Is that Niles' name? Seattle. Is that Kurt Cobain? You'd love his poems. Fuck. I don't know if I know that many. Oh, not James. I think Theodore Rothke lived in Seattle, or he taught at University of Washington up there. And I think James Wright did a little stint up there. Maybe Ron Lewinson, is he like a Seattle guy? That, well, they did that Vancouver Poetry Conference. That was like in the 60s. That's kind of near Seattle. That was like Charles Olson. Waylon was at that. I think Spicer. Creeley was there. Robert Creeley. Yeah, so I recommend the album Prison. Oh, okay. God of Seas, Earthquake Horses. Yes, Roman Neptune. Because the Bible did say in Luke 21 that it will happen. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, what did the Bible say exactly? What does Luke 20, can anybody look that up? What does Luke 21 say? There will be an hurricane in New York before Trump gets elected, and then Stephen Jesse Bernstein, baby. All right, I will look it up. That sounds dope, actually. The Bible, yeah. I mean, fuck. It was mid. It was like a mid. I didn't even feel it. It definitely changed the position of this picture that was hanging on my wall. You know, it was sitting a certain way, horizontal, and then now it's kind of crooked. And so, I don't know. I mean, there was an earthquake in Ohio a few years ago. I mean, a 4.8 is not nothing, but there is a fault line there. Apparently, there's a fault line on 125th Street, which is not far from where Ashley lives, actually. But you know, they say that it's very, very unlikely that these faults are gonna, you know, erupt into anything. So, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about an earthquake in New York. You know, at least not like another one. You know, there was one. The fact that there was even one is like, that's kind of crazy. I mean, that's why my mom called me. Because, I mean, you hear that, even though Bible hidden amongst the Loeb edition. Yeah. I think Anna Wintour lives in one of these houses. One of these houses right here is Anna Wintour. God just wants people to get their soul right. Exactly. I agree. It's what we're trying to do here by reading poetry and living the right way, trying to expand consciousness, trying to talk about how society's disintegrating. and what we can do about it. How can we stop this? All right, Tiffany loves poetry. Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, what kind of poetry do you like? We're talking about Seattle poetry. We're learning about that. Wave books. I don't know that much about it, actually. But there has to be some kind of serious... I mean, with the grunge thing, Stephen Jesse, there had to have been some kind of poetry, coffee house, like that movie Singles, right? That's basically all I know about Seattle. This movie Singles, directed by Cameron Crowe, which apparently is what Friends is based on. Friends is kind of a ripoff of the movie Singles, because Singles is just about all these Gen X kind of slacker era fucking people that live in an apartment complex together. Should I go to this fucking comedy open mic? I'm not sure. I kind of want to go, but I kind of don't want to go. I kind of just want to chill. Maybe I'll walk that direction, sort of, see what happens. Yeah, so it's like grunge era, Seattle stuff. You know, it's the best of times, it's the worst of times. Like, in spite of the astronomical cost of living, the monumental wealth gap that's all around me in every direction I look, I'm still here. I'm still doing it. I'm fucking reading the fuck out of my poetry. I'm writing the fuck out of whatever I want to write. You know, that's one reason why I'm message retracted. I didn't even know you could do that. Message retracted. I've noticed people started to do that recently. You can like take your texts back or your DMs back. It's like, what? Really? It's kind of crazy. I don't think you should be able to do that. You know, I think you should be able to edit a comment. I don't think you should be able to retract a message. I think if you send a message, the other person deserves to see it and to have a paper trail. It's all about paper trail. It drives engagement, okay? Our DMs are just like a comment section to them. They can just look in our DMs at any time. Anybody can look in our fucking DMs. I'm editing them to say nothing. I'm just kidding. I don't give a fuck. People can do whatever. Go buck wild in the comments, everybody. Go fucking buck wild. Maybe let me flip this around for a sec. I'm gonna keep talking, but... See, we're just chilling in New York, guys, on this fucking gorgeous day. See, I can't go inside right now. I've been cooped up all goddamn winter. Oh, this fucking street. I don't know. Can I get on this? Oh, it's Downing. I think they jammed the signal on this street because of rich people that live here. But we'll see, I guess. We'll fucking see. Yeah, we're still living it. All right, Adam S. Good luck getting fired at your job. We wish you all the best. Seattle, we love you. Good night, Seattle. We love you. Yeah, that's right. We're streaming, baby. We're live. This is the future. We're live in the future from our visor, headset, phone. Getting local. We're basically doing Google Street View for them. You know, they can map this exact moment, all of the information, recreate our reality in the future, just totally bring it back completely. 3D model this and just holodeck it back into existence. Yeah, I think Rupert Murdoch or De Niro or somebody. De Niro kind of jumps around to a bunch of different houses and shit. You can tell he just likes kind of trying out different stuff. But this Downing Street, I think a lot of ultra fucking elite. Ultra fucking elite. Alright, so here we are. Village Gyrotonic, people. Now, I mean, this is the real village. This is what even though it's an empty simulacrum, I saw this Facebook boomer, because the boomers are really on Facebook. If you want to know what boomers think, they have adopted the hegemonic brand. They love that shit, you know, and they're not shy about comment section and sharing, and apparently the internet is dead, or what is it, the dead internet theory? Apparently, you know, like most of the internet is just bots interacting with each other. There's no human beings even involved. So actually, like the internet is like some kind of weird shipwreck, where it's actually just like, it's dead, it's under the sea. Human beings don't even go there anymore. Awkward. I don't care. I'm living online. These people don't want to interact with me anyway. It's the haves and the have-nots. You know, the ultra wealthy live in the West Village now. It's like Greenwich, Connecticut. The stockbrokers live down here now. The bastards. But I have to cosplay like I'm some kind of street poet, poor person. You know, those were my heroes. That was sort of the life I was trying to manifest. You know, that's what I was dreaming of all through 2020, and the kind of hypersleep of the shutdown. Bet. These are all the most beautiful streets in the village, okay? This is the exclusive poetry walking tour, okay? Oh, here they come. They're gonna run me over. I'm gonna get run over by a yellow cab while I'm fucking streaming. Alright. God, it's a nice day. I just want to get this one day, you know, on the record. It's just too fucking nice. These are memories, people. I mean, what a, you know, the idea that this was ever like a poetry neighborhood, you know, like this was a poetry bookstore. What civilization was that? You know, what happened? It's crazy. How did it pivot so hard? You know, and the values of the people that live here now, just so strange. So we do an open mic every Monday night at KGB Bar on East 4th Street with poetry, music, comedy, performance art, whatever the hell you're into, clowning, lecturing, ranting, political, theater, Brechtian, stunts, if you want to pull some kind of stunt. If you want to, the thing about the open mic recently is there's the line between truth and reality. It's like wrestling. We don't know what's a shoot. We don't know what's a work. And neither does the audience. But we read our poetry everywhere. I just did it recently, reading at La Mama Theater Company on 4th Street. It's a famous kind of off-Broadway theater. I read in the lobby before this show, this play, memoirs of my beatnik youth. They needed beatnik style poetry. So they called the right guy, because I'm just a boomer replay, basically. Well, so in this Facebook comment, it was like, why don't young people have their own culture? Why are they so obsessed with authenticity? They were talking about Cafe Figaro on Bleecker and McDougal, which used to be like Cafe Reggio, or Cafe Dante also used to be like kind of a funky, bohemian, cheap, like a true, you know, that's probably where the coffee house culture started in this fucking country, to be honest, is in those places. Cafe Reggio is really the only one left. Standing side by side. And you can tell they probably want to preserve that. But, God, if Cafe Reggio ever goes out of business, it's over. Then it's really over. Go to Cafe Reggio while you can. Probably within a few years it'll be gone. But, because all those other ones are gone, right? Luke 21 is about basic apocalyptic stuff. Earthquakes, famines, pestilences, nation against nation, etc. I used the internet, couldn't find my KGV or my Gideon. I guess my classics books ate them. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, okay. I read Revelations. Earthquakes, pestilence. Well, that's two. We definitely got two of those. Do they pay a lot for speaking poetry? Well, I did get paid. I read for 10 minutes, I got $60. So I made $360 an hour to read my poetry, if you want to look at it that way. But, if you get into academic circuit, you can get paid thousands of dollars to go read and travel around and stuff. They'll pay for you to come to different programs, different schools. That's, you'll probably never play Madison Square Garden or anything. You're not going to be Bert Kreischer or Tom Segura, maybe, but who knows? Who the fuck knows? Maybe our culture will find its way and stop listening to these idiots. But, so yeah, there is a market for poetry, weirdly enough, actually. If I really went hard, I self-publish my books, I could sell my books. I don't know if I could make a living doing it, but if I really went hard, I could probably make $1,000 a month or something, on top of whatever else I was doing. If I was really hustling, especially if you're able to tap into a, thank you for watching. If you're able to is this fence always been here like this? Is that new? If you're able to tap into an online audience, like on TikTok, a lot of what people are using that for now, you don't necessarily make money off your TikTok or your YouTube, but you're funneling people into your online store, basically. So like TikTok is basically like a shop. That's how they want you to use it. They want you to use Instagram as like your fucking store because they want to get rid of real life and this, the real marketplace, and they want to monetize you through what they're doing. And so if you get 100,000 followers on TikTok, I could have a link right on my profile to my zines. Pay me $5 for my zine, I'll mail it to you. If I sold, 100, 200 of those a month, that's $1,000, If I charge $10, I could make twice as much, So we're having to think in these kind of entrepreneurial ways anyway. They're kind of trying to they're throwing us into the sink or swim of this as it is. Like these jobs are being eliminated, they're being done on AI. Everybody's got to kind of figure out some kind of hustle to whatever their craft is. I think that's actually kind of exciting too, is like in a world where people aren't really making stuff as much, it's an opportunity to do that. I make these books, I print them out on my printer, I staple them, I fold them, I draw the cover, I write them, of course, I type them up. And so it is work, but it's like stuff I want to do. And to be honest, I'm probably better at that than something else that I don't want to do. So, I definitely, God bless you. We're talking about the Bible here on Sunday with my good Christian fans. Thank you for watching, Tiffany and Adam and S.A. Beaver. We're all good Bible reading. Poetry is totally religious to me. It's the same thing. It's why I do it. I'm not necessarily like not religious as far as church, Catholic church or whatever. Although I haven't been to that in a long time, but I work in a church. Literally the fucking poetry organization. So I'm also a videographer. I film stuff, film readings, film events, what have you. I filmed this art gallery talk the other night. It's in a church. The readings are in this fucking church in the East Village. And so I don't think that's a metaphor. I think to some degree poetry is completely liturgical, completely sacred. It's completely doing the same thing that the Bible does, or I think a meditative kind of religion is supposed to do, providing that sense of the sacred, providing that sense of organizing that into kind of some kind of holy music, speech, poem, so other people can share it. These are messages from God. Thank you for watching Starlight Sunshine. These are messages from God, okay? And if you don't like it, you can just mute it and enjoy the beautiful scenery. We're here on Greenwich Street. This is where all the super celebs lived back away in the 90s. Poetry, yeah, the Bible is completely a poetry book. I mean, it is a poem, It is absolutely a poetry book. Song of Psalms, my Bible is holy books. Oh, it's actually William Burroughs. The Cat Inside. What's that about? What William Burroughs is that? What is he talking about? That's pretty cool. I mean, I've never really gotten deep into William Burroughs, but a lot of the smartest people, Burroughs is like the man. So, to them. And he's definitely funny as hell. He lived with my boy John Giorno. King David was a psalmist. There you go, exactly. Apparently Larry David is related to King David, which would make sense because I think King David was like all about like judgment and orbiting and shit. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass here. I don't, even with poetry stuff, I kind of have a habit of misremembering things. That's part of the fun, okay? Making it your own by screwing it up, by misinterpreting it. Love of cats. All right, thank you guys for watching. This is exciting. To communicate. I normally have the comments turned off because I can get spammed. There can be some spam in the comments sometimes. But you guys, this is really actually very fascinating. I love the group kind of all the different points of view. Here we are on our tour. I think Styron Arbus or somebody lived in this house. Some kind of famous photographer. I went to a party in this building once. When I was cool for 5 minutes in 2021. I got invited to a party in this building. When I lived on the west side of Manhattan, the greatest 2 years of my life. I had a rent-controlled apartment for 2 years. $600 a month, 2-bedroom. Oh, God, it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Thank you. Yeah, the West Village. This is what I like to do on my days off. I like to come down here and just walk around because it's so nice. Maybe we'll go to Bleecker Park, to my favorite park. One of New York's best kept secrets, okay? Take it from me. All I do is just walk around looking at the streets of New York. Digging the streets. So you see what's going on, you see things change, things get remodeled, new businesses come in. This fucking place has changed their name a bunch of times. Left Bank, it used to be like La Moulin or something. West 11th Street, this is one of the nicest streets. Is this 11th? Oh my God, this restaurant is called Twilight. Like the Stephanie Meyer trilogy. Apparently every poet is supposed to write a vampire romance novel. According to the new, oh my God, I've only got 20% battery, so I'll probably go to Bleecker Park and then I might sign off. Thank you for watching. Where is everybody watching from? I'm just curious because I love having viewers kind of tune in from everywhere. Um, and I just want to show people what's really going on here. You know, we're not overrun by illegals. There aren't just criminals pissing everywhere, okay? It's just, you know, your typical kind of office workers. I don't know what the hell they do. They'll either work for Google or Lehman or something. And, I mean, this is one of the nicest streets in New York, Hudson. The Friends apartment is near here. Maybe we should go by the Friends apartment. Matthew Perry Street. I love this bar at WXOU Radio. I hope it stays there forever. There's Kaya Gerber. You know, the face of a new generation. She's a boomer reboot too. Kaya Gerber is just like all the ideas. She's a Nepo baby. She's a remake. Slightly different for a new generation. You know, it's long form narrative storytelling. Kaya Gerber is like the new chapter of the Cindy Crawford epic universe. The Cindy Crawford, Randy Gerber's tequila ads. I love how Randy Gerber's tequila ads with George Clooney have like appreciated in value. Ooh, now there's an art gallery here. This is pretty cool. This wasn't here before. This building has been empty forever. Stephen Hall, okay. Cool. I think you're awesome. Many blessings. Thank you, Tiffany. You're awesome. Thank you for watching. Hudson Valley, fuck yeah. I'm with you in Rockland. These are dope paintings. This is cool. I'm with you in Rockland, baby. I got poetry fans in the fucking comments. Thank you. Thank you for liking poetry and knowing what the hell you're talking about. I think that's magnificent. Yeah, so here we are in my favorite place on earth. Bleecker Park, the magic. I am the only one that calls it Bleecker Park. Oh, God. Fuck. I don't know if that's actually its name or if I just hallucinated that. Apparently, according to Ashley, I just made that up. I want to do a reading in Bleecker Park. So this is kind of a, you know, even though if you've been following Scenes from Life, you'll definitely recognize Bleecker Park. Because there's so many classic scenes of me smoking weed here. Just like this. I mean, it's like you're on the show, right? It's like we're making the movie live on the show. Melding live television and cinema like wrestling is. Oh my God, are my eyes looking crazy? Do my eyes look like... Do I look sick? Do I look sickly to you? White Columns Gallery. Yeah, I do like White Columns. White Columns is dope, actually. They had a John Jorno thing. They've got all kind of flyer, they had all kind of old DIY. So you know your stuff. White Columns, exactly. Hudson Valley. I guess you should come up there and check out the galleries and stuff up there. Yeah, this is a nice little street right here. There's Magnolia Bakery. You might know it from Sex and the City. But, yeah, I like to just come here, write in my notebook. Just sit here, do nothing, zone out, look around. You know, I think there is a common thread with a lot of these kind of world-talented people do meditation, TM. The Beatles do fucking transcendental meditation. David Lynch does transcendental meditation. Steve Jobs. I was thinking the other day, I could do what Steve Jobs does. All he does is tell these other people what to do. He just tells, hey, fucking Wozniak, make it so it's sexier. Make it so it fits in the sexy case. I don't care how you do it. He didn't actually do anything. He just wore a turtleneck and he was like a cult leader. I could do that. I could do what Steve Jobs did. We needed Steve Jobs because the Steve Jobs video popped up in my TikTok. I want to see the Steve Jobs movie with Michael Fassbender. I mean, Christian Bale definitely should have seen Steve Jobs. Christian Bale definitely should have played Steve Jobs. Yeah, we can't. We need a new Steve Jobs. Well, it's just, he was a person in the tech industry who felt like I mean, granted, Apple is, a complicated place, but in a complicated story, but amongst the tech, sort of charismatic leader, whatever, elite, he seemed like he had kind of creative, democratic, he was a child of the 60s. And he did TM. I think he wanted to encourage creativity, music, GarageBand. Every Apple computer comes with GarageBand, iMovie. Your phone is like a little art studio, really. Cameras, editing equipment. You can record music on your phone. You can do multi-track. This is a reason why we have a generation of kind of bedroom musician, producer, whatever artists. Because of GarageBand, because of laptop. Not that Windows PC didn't do that stuff, but he seemed like an ally. Now it just feels like tech is the empire, and they're like going to take everything over. They're going to replace everybody's job. They're going to take all of the fucking money. They're going to trash the planet and let all of us die. Well, they retreat to their bunkers and their weird kind of science fiction. I mean, I think there is new things happening, but it's different. Like we have TikTok now. They didn't have that in the fucking 60s. We have live streaming now. We have YouTube now. There are things about our culture that suck, definitely. But there's also things that are amazing and unprecedented and unique to this time period. That you find them. In the 90s, there was Mario Paint. I don't know if people remember Mario Paint. It's one of the greatest video games ever made. It came with a mouse and a fucking mouse pad. For Super Nintendo, you could make music on it. You could make paintings. There was this fun fly swatting game that was cool. Mario Paint was like absolutely like an enlightened studio for a child. That was before computers. Halt and Catch Fire, lo and behold. Okay. The best story of the internet is Halt and Catch Fire, lo and behold. I gotta see the Werner Herzog movie. Is that about phones? Is that about the stupefaction of us because of smartphones? We're all staring at our goddamn phones all the time. To me, this is just like a CB radio. This is like a shortwave radio. I've always wanted to be able to have a show. And I think this is what I want to do. I just want to talk. There's so much things to talk about. We got to talk about the earthquake. I talked to my mom on the phone. We got to talk about the eclipse. We got to talk about WrestleMania. We got to talk about the Bible. And so I'm just trying to cover everything I've been thinking about recently. This is like my trauma dump of we're mental workers. We're mental laborers, okay? We're intellectual workers. We have to process. I think that is kind of our job now. We're inundated with information. We live in an information economy and an attention economy. So it is about governing what you do with your attention and what information you are actually taking in. Following the right shit, curating the right feeds for yourself, listening to Grateful Dead bootlegs, listening to Robert Hunter live bootlegs. It's out there, Pin Sound is out there. Or Tim Dillon. Maybe there's better live streamers out there. I don't know. Where are the poets? Why aren't the poets live streaming? It's about reveries of the connected world. Yeah, I try to thank you, Tiffany. Thank you guys for watching. I try to straddle the two. I want to be IRL. I do think it's important to gather in real life and do live shows and meet with people and audiences and blah, blah, blah. And friends and family. And social life. Social life is more important now probably than ever. Because there's this loneliness epidemic happening. But I also think, there are new forms and medias of socializing. You catch up on your friends' lives by watching their vlogs. Oh, well, let's see what Matt Proctor has been doing. We'll watch his newest YouTube video. I've been doing it for 10 years. I don't know. Everybody else, start vlogging. Why aren't you vlogging already? We want to watch the sitcom of your story. You know, whatever the individual narrative is of your kind of like comedic, dramatic arc. You know, I would dip into a lot of people's vlogs. Thank you, Starlight Sunshine. Thank you. I mean, I love vlogs are just so effortless. Maybe that's not good. Maybe you should work harder. They're like Zen. To me, it's like little pieces of life. You know, it's like, oh, there was this amazing, the building looks amazing, or the light looks amazing. I want to share that. It can be just kind of like appreciate, you know, I think that's what that Wim Wenders movie was about. Perfect Days is really just like the guy appreciating the wabi-sabi, or whatever the fuck it, you know, the word is in the movie. Just the nothing, you know? It's like, it doesn't have to be some, I think, okay, here's something I've been thinking about recently. Life and death, right? They tell you in theater school, ARPANET, there you go. ARPANET, yeah, bootleg tapes. Yeah, exactly. Thank you guys. I mean, it's not. I mean, well, the idea is everybody can share what they've been thinking about, you know, or share their piece. You know, if people are meditating, if they're paying attention to their own lives, you know, I think the vlog's going to help that. I think it is like a de-stimulated media. You know, it's not some war movie that's all about explosions and death and, you know, these life and death situations that are programming us for murder and, you know, chaos and anxiety, basically. It's all about anxiety, really. Creating anxiety in people. You know, it's more about slow TV and just, you know, the peaceful perception of awareness and the fact that most of life is, you know, you can just be like a lizard on a heat rock. You can just sit there and kind of like absorb the light and think about that and take the vitamin D in and look around. You know, New York is the greatest place to just sit on the heat rock and just look at everything. Just people watching, right? The people watching here is second to none. Or, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's not as interesting as it once was, but you know, there's like a stasis. All drama is about interrupting stasis and heightened circumstances and the worst day of your life, you know, or some kind of exceptionally eventful day of your life. And it's like, well, most of the days of our life are hopefully, you know, kind of chill and beautiful. You know, like that movie is called Perfect Days. In a certain way, the character's trying to avoid the trauma and upsetting kind of like the routine and the balance. He's got this balance in his life through his work, through his living situation, his routine, you know, going to the restaurant, going to the bookstore, getting a new book, quiet, listening to his tapes. You know, I think YouTube is like an incredible opportunity for everybody to have, you know, a podcast, it's just like it's too hard. There's too much. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Perfect Days is pretty good. I would recommend watching some of the Wim Wenders movies from the 70s. Get Kings of the Road. Or if you can watch Alice in the Cities. Alice in the Cities is on Criterion Channel. Alice in the Cities is really a masterpiece. And very peaceful and chill. And, you know, like paintings. You know, he was a painter before he was a filmmaker. And you can tell he'll just have a composition just because it's kind of a nice composition. And that's a way of kind of appreciation, you know, like the architecture. A lot of that movie is about the architecture. Perfect Days, the way the city looks, the way the traffic kind of lanes, the freeways. Those bathrooms in that movie are all like designer You can tell they were some kind of commissioned. Okay, I've only got 10% battery left, so I do have to sign off probably pretty soon. I'm gonna watch WrestleMania later. Thank you guys for watching. You've been so great. I mean, this has really been wonderful to share the afternoon, a week after Easter. Is there anything else we need to talk about before? Maybe I'll do like 3 or 4 minutes. God bless. God bless everyone. Yeah. The presence of God is in all things. And I think that is like just, you know, presence, right? Is like paying attention to the now, the power of now. And tapping into, you know, thank you for watching. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, S.A. Beaver. Thank you, Starlight Sunshine. Wow, it's a lot more fun with the comment section on, I gotta say. It can be, I had no idea, you know, I don't know I had no idea anybody's watching. I feel like people probably watch it later. That's kind of why I like to do it. It's like you can put it on whenever, you know, the live is like in the moment when, you know, but it's like, it's one take. Thank you, Damon, Socrates. Thank you, beautiful souls, for watching. We're trying to keep poetry alive here in the, you know, in the broadcast capital of our empire, and to share poetry with everybody. And, you know, one thing that's important to me is getting poetry into people's lives who are not necessarily obsessed with poetry like poets are. You know, like comedians, or getting, you know, how many comedians at the open mic have read poems that they've written? I think that's a victory. Getting people writing poetry is like so important, because it's just a way of listening to yourself and articulating what you feel and think. And that's so important to keep that alive when they want to, you know, baby food all this AI into our, on the dead internet, into our mouths. And we won't take it. We got to keep our, you know, our vessels flooded with oxygen and blood and cognition. And so we're trying to speak at the top of our intelligence. Doing it on live, I think, is important. Yeah, exactly. You know, you don't realize how important it is to vocalize something or to hear somebody else vocalize something until you think, oh, that person, you know, I thought the same thing, or they said what I thought so well, or, you know, I think that's what people are looking for. You know, with comedy, with everything, with poetry, we're looking for just what the hell is going on. Somebody make sense of it. Somebody explain it. Somebody make it okay. Somebody make it musical. Somebody make it funny. Somebody make it, you know, our balance, have the golden ratio, you know, and symmetry and all of that shit. And, you know, so getting poetry into people's lives that don't necessarily get poetry. Poetry is so, it's so cordoned off in our culture, and it's so partitioned, and there is like an elitism about it. When in reality, poetry is the most like egalitarian, open thing of anything. Everything goes. There are no rules. You know, you do it. Yeah, exactly. Honesty and integrity, exactly. You do it, you know, to tell the truth with integrity. Something nobody has, you know, people have lost. You know, the Trump thing, part of what sucked about it, you know, part of the reason why there was such a resistance is because the guy had no integrity. I mean, say what you will about him, you know, it kind of made it okay to be the bad guy, like Razor Ramon or Scott Hall. But we're in a new era, okay? It's the Renaissance era. We're not gonna let these tech people, we're gonna colonize the tech with our liberal, super liberal, leftist, hyper intellectual, hyper pretentious as we want to be, okay? We're avant, post modern, post poets, god damn it, in New York City. Do people watch it? Who's that guy? Matt Berry. Matt Berry is huge on TikTok. Clem Fandango. Yes, I hear you, Clem Fandango. Yes, I can hear you, Clem Fandango. Clem Fandango. Yeah, Matt Berry. God bless. All right, so anyway, thank you guys for watching. Power to the people. Keep writing poetry. Go out, buy a notebook right now. Start your own live streaming. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you guys all for commenting and watching. You've made it a magical afternoon. I don't feel so lonely and hopeless about humanity anymore. All right. Well, God bless you. God bless everybody. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to go meditate and pray now. We're going to pray. Everybody pray. Poetry is absolutely praying. It's absolutely praying. There is no difference. I know that the people in academic poetry and in po-biz, 10 more. I usually do 2 hours. I feel like my phone is about to die. Let me just, I've got 6%. I've got 6%. Okay, I have to make sure my phone is on. I'm sorry. I can't let it die. But I will get back on. I did live stream the other day. I'm trying some stuff where I'm reposting some, because I recorded a lot of content during the pandemic that I did not live stream, but it's on my YouTube. So I'm gonna maybe launch some of that stuff, and that might be fun to watch. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if old stuff is gonna age, but the recent cool skits tape. Yeah, I do have a charger. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you. Oh, you're amazing. And we're gonna save the world. We're all gonna just focus and hone in. Yeah, this guy told me the other day to leave the chat on. He said I'll never get anywhere if I mute the chat. But it's also like there's things that I do want to talk about, and so like today I had a little bit of some topics. Yes, okay, Sunday. Now that the weather's nice, I'm going to start to do it outside. So I've got my selfie stick here. So I'll be walking around doing different site-specific talk pieces. And we're trying to forge a new genre here. There needs to be like a public, live, speaking to. This is like my club, Bill Maher, what's his show? Club Normal, or what the fuck is it? I don't know. Whatever the hell Bill Maher's YouTube show is. Club Random. This is Club Random. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Tell your friends. Subscribe. Get other people to subscribe. Share the link in the bio. If you watch, does people watch the open mics? I'm curious if that translates. I'm gonna get a better camera soon, but yeah, Tompkins Square. I'll do Tompkins. I'm gonna do different parts of New York. Because the Montauk thing was so interesting, going to Montauk and live streaming from there. So I want to try to do like different parts of New York. Maybe I wouldn't typically go. Like do like Coney Island, do Brighton Beach, maybe go up to the Bronx or something. Yeah, exactly. We're online. We're in the one place, everybody. It's all one place now. The metaverse. This is the Metaverse Comedy Club. Okay, focus on the live streams. Okay. Yeah, I think building the audience online is a good, I don't know. I love doing live. I love doing open mics to 4 people that are never going to laugh at anything I have to say. Botanical Gardens. Yeah, let us know in the comments if there's any parts of town. I'll probably do it Upper East Side. I think they spotted Vince McMahon on the Upper East Side last night. He's out in public, so he apparently lives up there or something.